Hello, YouTube! This podcast is personalized. We're on episode 14. I guess you could call this a new season because, like, last time we did a major E3 episode. It felt like a season finale because it was so long and we kind of, like, put everything out there from E3. And this is almost like we're turning a new leaf in the sense because we're going to have, like, video game news, but we're going to add a new segment you'll find out later on. And we're just going to start with the video game news like usual. I am your host, Pinky Culture, and
Dragon Queen.
All right.
So let me get it started. So today, I'm really glad we're doing the podcast today because today marks the 24th anniversary of Digimon. 24 years of Digimon. It's so fantastic. It started June 26, 1997. So it's just a year younger than Pokemon.
Yep.
And the way it started is, I wish I could show you guys, but I actually have the Digimon Tamagotchi. That's how it got started with the V pets, the virtual pets stuff back in the 90s. So
yep,
that's how it got its start, which is great. Then it moved on, and now we know where we are with the franchise, with the show and the cards and the merchandise. Obviously not as big as Pokemon, but it still has a significance. Lots of people remember it fondly. Like today I was out doing my own little celebrations and checking out to see if I could find any like merchandise, and I was one of my friends the GameStop near me got me the Tamagotchi, so I'm very excited. So I don't know if you were able to hear it at some point on the podcast, but my Botamon evolved to a Koromon, and it's sleeping right now. So you might hear some noises of it. You know how Tamagotchis are.
Yeah, but I think this one you seem to put it to sleep and has not been doing anything. So maybe it's like on pause or.
Oh,
does
maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure because I haven't had a Tamagotchi in a minute.
I think this is a Digimon edition. Maybe it's a more modern one where you get to since the Tamagotchi, the fact that it kept acting on its own, and you know it kind of ruined the experience for some people because kids use it, they're in school, so they're not going to be paying attention in class if they're focusing on their pet. So I think the more modern or like newer ones, they started having like a pausing mechanism.
Not really pausing, but it has the option for wake up or sleep.
Right.
So right now I have it asleep because we're doing the podcast. I mean, as much it'd be funny if you hear the Tamagotchi making some like alarm sounds, and then I have to go and check it and feed it and clean its poop and stuff.
Yeah. Actually, I have a video. It's on this channel where I play the Game Boy version of Tamagotchi. And this one you could just turn it off and on. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I actually didn't think I was gonna get back into Tamagotchi stuff, but here we are. It's like, oh, it's Digimon Day. I might as well do some Digimon stuff. I'll probably watch some of the Digimon Adventure 2020, which is pretty good. The reboot, I like it. I'll probably watch some after this. Some Digimon news before we jump to the rest of this podcast is, well, Bandai Namco didn't tell us anything about Digimon Survive, so I'm hoping it's still surviving and they're still out there, that they're still working on it, and it's not like a dead project.
Right. Because Digimon Survive.
I know, seriously, please. And then I don't know if we mentioned this, but there's a team in Korea that's making, I think it was a Digimon MMO.
Ah.
So yeah.
I've been wanting to get into an MMO. Maybe I'll get into Digimon if I like that.
But yeah, and I've been playing. I haven't played at the moment.
I mean, a Digimon MMO is so fitting because Digimon is supposed to be like a game where you play digital monsters and they connect through the internet, and everyone has their own personalized Digimon.
Well, yeah, because Digimon as a franchise, like the series, the Digimon. If you watch the show, it's technically an isekai, which is like when the main character or main characters travel into another world.
Right.
And they end up in a fantasy world.
But there's some of them, I remember that they're in the real world, but the Digimon.
Yeah, of course. They do go back into the real world, but
no, like they're in the real world and the Digimon are in the real world,
yes,
and things happen in the real world.
Yes, that happens too. But as the genre for Digimon is usually isekai.
Yeah, isekai is when you get sucked into another world. I know, but I'm saying like they experiment, like each series has different like stuff going on, and one of them specifically only takes place in the real world. I think it's the one I like, the one with the red dinosaur.
Oh yes, so that one's Digimon Tamers season 3. Yeah, that one is mostly in the real world, and eventually they do go into the digital world, but it's much later into the show.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So Digimon MMO will be interesting. I've been wanting to get into one. I've been playing, I'm not sure if this counts as MMO, but it's a game like Diablo called Path of Exile. It's like recently got into it. It's mostly single player. There's some online, like people, you see other players occasionally in this lobby, but it doesn't feel like an MMO. So I would say that's just more of me waiting for Diablo. So I'm playing a game that's exactly like Diablo, sort of, made by fans. It's an original game, but it's very like, if you know, it feels like just like Diablo. It's like what Freedom Planet is when it feels like Sonic. It's just Sonic, but with different characters. So yeah, I've been wanting to get into MMO. It would be cool if me getting into MMO would be like Digimon, like, because I don't think I've played a Digimon game. I just watched the show.
I play some Digimon games, but the one I have now that I actually been trying to be is a Digimon Cyber Sleuth. It's good. It's very good, actually.
So like my start with the MMO, that'd be cool. Like having your own personalized Digimon and like battling other people or teaming up with other people to fight bigger guys or whatever they want to do. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, to wrap up the Digimon segment. Well, we're doing some few like I don't notice that the Digimon Japanese Twitter has been posting some stuff. Looks like they made a new banner and they're gonna put out new merch. I heard they're gonna put out new cards. Oh yeah, actually they're gonna put out new cards that are similar to what Pokemon's doing, of putting out the old school designs of the cards from back in the day, and like doing like reprints of that, like
Yeah, it's a Pokemon there with reprints. Yeah.
Like the old school designs into the new school because of the celebration.
Right.
But to wrap this up, I heard a rumor that Digimon Tamers, actually, since you brought it up, is getting a sequel. Hey, I'm not 100% on this, but that's what's going around. Like that, if that's the case, that'd be awesome, because I wouldn't say that it ended on a cliffhanger, but the last thing we saw was Takato looking at the portal to the digital world, because in the last scene they had to say goodbye to it was so heartbreaking.
Oh, they had to say goodbye to the Digimon, right?
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. But yeah, it would be great if they could go back and meet with them again. It's been a long time, and that's definitely the best one. I mean, don't get me wrong, Digimon Adventure is where it started, and that's fantastic, and the theme song was iconic.
Right.
But at least the English one. I mean, the Japanese one is good too. Butterfly is fantastic.
But the original, the English one, is just so iconic. It's like the Pokemon.
Exactly.
It's super iconic. My favorite is still the Tamers one, the one with the season 3, because it was the most unique out of all of them. Like they try new things, and it's more darker. It's a lot more grounded.
Yeah, because it's the guy.
Yeah, the guy is behind some like more gritty animes. Yeah. So yeah, it's cool.
Hopefully that will happen.
All right.
But to segue from Digimon, I'm gonna go into Pokemon, just because Digimon's always been called a Pokemon clone, although. I
wouldn't say that, because they have different origins.
No, they really do, but that's has kind of always been, especially because Pokemon came out first, so I get it.
Yeah.
But let's go into Pokemon. Just a few Pokemon stuff I wanted to say. Into Pokemon TCG, Evolution Skies coming out. I think, if I'm not mistaken, in August. I think the reason it's called Evolution Skies because it has to do with Eevee and its evolutions. And then we're gonna have Pokemon Celebrations. I think those are out in October. So there's gonna be like a Pokemon 25th anniversary golden box with like, it's gonna be all yellow gold with like Pikachu. It's like a really big like box of a bunch of cards and also other goodies. The Pokemon Celebration is gonna be assortment of Pokemons from like the VMAX boxes, the ETVs, Elite Trainer boxes. It's gonna be pretty big. It's gonna have like Lance's Charizard and GMAX Pikachu and Dragapult and just like quite a few Pokemon.
So you're more into the collecting the card stuff. I'm not really into the cards.
Well, I thought I should mention it just because
Right.
for the people that are interested. That's
But I'm just saying because the difference is like you're really deep in this one. I'm just like I know a bit of how to play because I played the video game where they teach you how to play, and I know like somewhat how to play, but
yeah,
I'm not really into the cards as I used to be.
I used to be really big into the cards as a
Yeah.
kid, and then I stopped, and then now I got back on again, and I have to admit, now it's kind of like not the best time to be a TCG fan because of all the scalpers.
Right.
They made it they made it really bad for you to be a Pokemon fan in general, actually, because there's some stuff I'm still trying to find that people have scalped, and I was like,
for Pokemon, I'm waiting to see if I could check out the that MOBA game.
oh, Pokemon Unite. So Pokemon Unite is out for the Switch next month.
Right. Seems interesting. No, I don't think it's going to be very big here in the U.S., but it's going to be big internationally, like in China and things like that.
We'll definitely check it out. I will definitely check it out, and we'll cover it here in the podcast. So yeah, that's the Pokemon stuff I wanted to cover, and then we could go into Sonic. Because we're just going back to back because between Digimon turning 24, Pokemon turning 25, Sonic turning 30.
Yeah.
Like we're just gonna go into anniversaries right now. So Sonic and Minecraft.
Yeah, that was that was a trailer. Like that's already out.
Yeah. Just wanted to put it there. Sonic VTuber.
Oh really?
Yeah. This is what I think. I think it's only, I don't know if it's also in the US, but I saw there was a Sonic Japanese team like made a Sonic as a VTuber.
Like he's playing video games and stuff.
I think you could use him as like a
Oh, just a model.
Yeah, just a model. I don't know if I didn't see any
Sonic
footage.
Fans are gonna.
I know.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
the role play we're gonna. Oh no! Now I'm imagining it. All the Sonic fans are insane.
Yeah.
Oh, now you get to be Sonic. Now the Sonic fans are gonna lose it.
Okay, so the next one is the Sonic theme park. So the art director for Sonic was interviewed alongside of other people from the Sonic team, and they mentioned that they wanted to make a Sonic theme park based on the based on
I don't think I'm going there because not really because of the theme park itself with the people there. Oh my god, no.
Well, it's not official
It's
yet.
gonna be like the meeting of the DeviantArt, the meeting like the full on IRL meetup of the century. Like,
okay.
Yeah, of the decade.
Yeah, so this is not official yet, but they're kind of, it's still in the like early planning stages, just because of how well the movie did last year.
Yeah.
It did. I mean, it was a good movie, and I'm excited for the second one, with Tails and
right. There's gonna be the second one.
Yeah.
Also, like, isn't a new Sonic game supposed to be like they never announced it, but it's a tease, right? Like,
oh yeah, so we got is the remaster of Sonic Colors.
Okay, yeah, but
and then Sonic. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a new Sonic game.
Yeah, they didn't say what it is though.
No, it was just a small teaser of just Sonic running, and that was it.
Yeah, we don't know. Like a lot of people are saying it's gonna be Sonic Adventure 3 or something.
Some people are saying that.
That would be insane.
That would be.
That would break the internet because I love Sonic Adventure 2.
Me too.
Great game, man.
It is.
All the memes. Like, jeez.
It was a great game. So yeah, that's all the Sonic stuff. And to continue into celebrations, we're gonna go into Metroid. Just a very small Metroid story, because Metroid is turning 35, right?
Is it? Oh yeah.
Because I'm just going over the fact that all these franchises are turning like something.
Yeah, Metroid Dread. It's gonna be. That game like it's not even out and is going crazy with the pre-orders.
That's why this is the only story I got for you guys. Metroid tops GameStop pre-orders following E3 2021.
That's amazing.
It's insane. Like I pre-ordered already.
Like who would have known that Metroid Prime? Like I didn't think that was that many Metroid fans.
Yeah, and now we got another. The Metroid Dread is considered Metroid 5, yeah. And yeah, it's just crazy to me. Like, I love this. I actually really love what's happening with Metroid. Like, if it could sell like 3 million, it would be the best selling Metroid game, which, fingers crossed, please.
Given the Switch breaking records is very likely because the Switch is so mainstream that like anything that's like put, even ports or just shitty games or just like mediocre stuff, it gets like a boost just for being on the Switch. It feels like it's anything is possible. It could be a series that's like raw from the dead, like something so obscure and you bring it back, or something that's like that like only it's like the Switch has this like Midas touch thing or anything.
It does.
It's like everything sells over there, even like stuff that like are ported or like brought back from the dead or things you never heard of. It's just what the Switch does.
It's actually, the Switch is kind of magic. People
It's a money printing machine.
I feel like some people. Yeah, and sometimes Nintendo doesn't realize that. You know what? Actually, to go back into the Metroid, I was gonna actually jump out of the Metroid and into another segment, but like I just remember that something that Nintendo should do is to bring the previous Metroid titles to the Switch, because after Dread was announced and now these crazy pre-orders, people are like, hey, maybe we could play the previous one so we know what's gonna happen with Metroid Dread. Because Metroid Dread has been, I didn't know this, but it's been in limbo for over 10 years, actually almost 20. I was like, that's insane. That is some crazy development.
Yeah, it was development hell. Yeah, it got to the point where people started buying Metroid on the Wii U, because Metroid has a virtual console.
On the Wii U, imagine.
Wii U, yeah, Wii U is very, like, no one cares about. But apparently people are, dusting up the old Wii U that they have in the closet.
Imagine.
And since the Wii U still has a virtual console, which the Switch feels like it barely has one. I mean, it sure has a few old games, but that's it. The Wii U and 3DS both have a very robust virtual console. And because of that, people are dusting up the old Metroid games from the Virtual Console on the Wii U because, like Metroid 5, which is known as Dread, the ones before it are so old at this point that they're on the Virtual Console. That's how long this thing's been developing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So it's so funny to me how it feels like Nintendo has more money, because if they move them over... To the
I think their plan is to have GBA and Game Boy as like in the service. That's probably gonna happen. Maybe for the Switch Pro, and they're gonna like port over all those games: Metroid, Pokemon, Mario, Zelda, all that stuff for the game. Because the Switch is a portable system. How could they not have portable?
I know, you would think that's what would make sense, but it hasn't happened. It was very upsetting when the GBA turned 20 this year and nothing happened.
It was completely like nothing happened. Yeah, Nintendo, the social media acknowledged it, but not Nintendo itself. Just the social media is like, hey, turn 20. I'm like, okay,
but are you gonna put it? Are you gonna put it in the Switch Online? No, apparently not.
Yeah, I feel like Switch Online could be. I feel like $20 is cheap, but so that's why they don't do much with it. But if they have different tiers, they could add more, or maybe up the price for a better service, because the online is just kind of there.
I would pay more if they put GBA and all these games that we just mentioned.
Yeah, N64. I would definitely pay more for a better service, because $20 annually is dirt cheap. But does that mean it's gonna be like that forever, or I'm gonna have a crappy online service? Like, I don't know.
Actually, speaking of GBA on the Switch, one of the stories we have is Castlevania, possibly the GBA titles going to the Switch.
Oh, like a port, right? Or a remake?
I think it's a port. And if that's the case, it will make, again, more sense to bring the GBA.
Right, yeah.
Yo, like, please. Also, speaking about development hell, Nintendo has confirmed yet again that Bayonetta 3 is still in development. That's all we needed. That's what we needed to say about that. But we're just letting you know.
So Bayonetta 3 still in the works.
It's one of those things where some kind of mention about it. It kind of eases us for a little bit, but it's just one of those things that, like, it just feels after a while that when they stop mentioning that, you think that it's just gonna, like, when I mentioned with, like, Digimon Survive, it's like one of those things, like, after a few years they stop mentioning a game, you're like, oh no, is this gonna happen, or is this gonna scrap it? So it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah. No, I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think so too, especially now with this whole Metroid stuff, but yeah, it's still a little scary.
Anything is possible right now on the Switch. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen.
That's true.
I hope the Switch Pro, like, ends up happening so we can have more games, like all these games that are Switch 2, what do you want to call it? Because these supposedly upgraded specs and stuff and better new chip is going to mean, like, the games will actually run well, because that's such a problem on the Switch.
That's true, and I gotta say that the integrity of Bloomberg is on the line.
Yeah, because Bloomberg keeps hyping it up.
Like the Bloomberg News, their integrity is on the line.
I feel like
if it doesn't happen,
it doesn't feel like they're bullshitting, because they're giving us, like, details that are way too specific to be bullshitted. Like,
I know. I actually don't think they are.
Specific chip, the factory shit, the deals, the evidence is all there. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
it doesn't feel like they're bullshitting us this time. I know that Bloomer hasn't always had it right 100% of the time when it comes to the video game stuff.
But for the most part, the reason why we every time they come out with something like this, people are gonna go crazy. It's because for the most part, they get this stuff right.
Yeah, like they got the Switch Lite. They got that. So
they got stuff right in the past, and for the most part, the Bloomberg News is a reputable site, and I knew someone that worked for Bloomberg, so. Yeah, it's just
if you ignore the opinion stuff, just like the fact, just like the
exactly
the objective data and, like, the business side, then Bloomberg is, like, more reputable than these other ones, at least when it comes to, like, the straight up facts, not opinion pieces are going to be opinion pieces and whatever, but when it comes to this, like, I feel like. Like, we're getting way too many specific stuff.
Oh yeah,
for it to be bullshit.
So what's funny?
Because bullshitters don't bullshitters, unless they're really good at bullshitting, don't deal in specifics. They deal in, like, generalizations and So I don't know.
Another thing is that if
what they're saying is not far off from doesn't seem like far off from Nintendo. Like, they're not saying 8K, 1080, whatever, like 4K, 120 FPS. No, they're giving us, like, very conservative numbers, like 4K at most. Maybe 4K, was it 4K 30 FPS or 1080p, and then we're going to have that improved screen. What was it? OLED or something. Like, the technology's already there, and it's not that expensive anymore. So, yeah. What's the next thing?
New Superman game.
You what?
This Superman game.
Oh, right, yeah. DC and Warner Brothers are working on something, and a lot of people are theorizing it's going to be the new Superman.
As long as it's not like,
Yeah, it's not going to... Superman 64 kind of ruined Superman games for everybody, but I feel like, come on, we have the technology.
Yes, the meme.
To make a good Superman game. Like, it's not... This is not the...
I love that
This
meme.
is not
we have the
the
technology.
early 2000s with the bad N64 games. No, we're in 2021. We got games that are crazy looking. Now there's, like, we're way beyond that. We could have a good Superman game. I think it's going to take place in the same universe as, like, the Batman games or something like that. At least that's from what I heard. It's going to be very, like, if you played the Batman games before, it's going to be kind of like that, but you're Superman. So, it might be, like, a more gritty type game, but you're Superman. So, it's going to be... I'm not sure if they'll nerf him, or you're going to be destroying everything like in those kind of games. Like, I don't know if that's a specific genre, just destroying everything around you. If that's I don't know what to call that. Just like you're like a god tier, or just like demolishing buildings and people and like
beat 'em up, hack slash.
I don't know, maybe hack and slash is you're on the ground and you're slashing, or you're shooting at a bunch of people coming at you, and beat 'em ups, I don't know, what do they call that?
Oh, actually, speaking of beat 'em ups, Space Jam. So you guys know that this could be a new Space Jam movie. I'm sure you've seen the stuff on
on social media, yeah.
Yeah. So this is interesting. This is kind of unexpected, but this could be a Space Jam game, but it's gonna be a beat 'em ups. So I mean, I didn't think that we're gonna have like Bugs Bunny and Lola Bunny just with just punching dudes. I was like, okay. I mean, I thought the Space Jam was about basketball, but sure, yeah, okay. I don't know, that was kind of strange.
Yeah. Straight up beat 'em up, and it looks like those retro ones, right?
It does.
Yeah.
It has a retro feel. Yeah. Yeah. So we on this podcast are not. I wouldn't say that because you like Sims. So I'm not saying that you hate EA, but we definitely are not like super fans of them.
No one is. I mean, like, I think people only buy EA games if it's a specific thing they like, the sports. Yeah. Or they're into.
Okay, so we could actually say we just kind of hate them in a way.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason.
Yeah, I'm just gonna admit that.
The reason why people play EA games is because of the specific niche that game, like they like Star Wars, or they like the sports or racing or like specific things. Like I like Sims. That's all I play from EA. It's the only time I ever give money to these people, just for Sims. So. Right, so, since they own a lot of stuff.
As far as I know, I don't think I have to give them money for anything. So
right, because you don't play sports games for the most part. And...
Oh wait, apparently I do have one of their games.
Okay, so whatever. What's going on with EA? What's going on with EA?
So EA is planning on reviving an established IP.
Do you know what it is?
No, we don't know.
Oh, okay.
But if we go
back... Watch it be Sims.
But Sims already... Like,
no, I was just joking. Sims 5 did get announced a while back, but there hasn't been anything since.
Exactly. So, saying like gotta go way back on their
back catalog. I don't know, man. Star Wars again. I don't know. They have like a lot of old Star Wars games.
But I think don't they already have like Star Wars games?
Do you think it might be some kind of old sports game or spin-off? Like, honestly, there's not much... Unless there's some really obscure thing they did way back in the day that we honestly cannot remember or don't care for it.
I'm looking to see maybe if there's anything on this list that they could possibly bring back. So, they got sports, they got Star Wars, they got racing games. It's just...
Maybe some old... I was thinking, like, some old racing game or sports game. Dead Space? Okay.
I don't know if there's been another one, like...
Yeah.
It seems like it looks like the... I'm just trying to see this, like, there's a list here of, like...
Well, I hope all is well for EA. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it could be anything. They have a lot, like, a very varied list of old titles. Could be whatever, Hope it's a good one.
Yeah.
So for the next segment is one I plan to do, unless you have more stuff.
Yeah, actually. Squares to co-produce with French studio Cyber Groups, a Final Fantasy animated series for kids. Based on Final Fantasy 9. It's pretty much just this is pretty much confirmed. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, we're having a Final Fantasy Kids show. Cool.
Yeah. Then we got Nintendo. Nintendo made a deal with Forever Entertainment that might lead to more remakes.
Ah.
Yeah.
I think I wrote that down, huh?
You did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's very exciting.
Well, I have one. But I'm cool. I'm glad with the Nintendo stuff because more remakes is great. More games. But I do have one. The Blue Box Conspiracy.
Yes. Oh, I had to make you write this down because I was like, this is too funny.
This is insane.
There was a PS5 game that was abandoned by Blue Box because it's not a front for a Hideo Kojima Silent Hills game. I was like, this is so funny to me. Because every time that Kojima's like, so I'm working on something, the world just kind of stops for a second. It's like, oh shit, what is it?
And then they show a trailer or something, and we don't know what it is. And it was like, Kojima, look at the style of the trailers. Very Kojima. So
yeah, I know. I love how people were just like driving this to the point where Blue was like, you know what? We're not gonna say anything. Just let it ride.
And then it got interesting on Reddit when the main developer Blue Box made a video, and it got a like from Kojima.
Oh yeah.
And like, so everyone is going crazy. They think that this is a collaboration of some sort. We don't know. We don't know if it's a collaboration or his project, or probably not.
It's not. Actually, I just read it's not. It's not a front for the new Silent Hills game.
No, I'm not saying Silent Hill.
But that's what people thought.
Right, but I don't think I think it might. I mean, like.
I mean, it's a chance that he might be working with them, but
right.
For the most part, no. It's just. People just jumped the gun. Everyone just kind of assumed that they were working together, and Blue Box didn't say anything. They didn't come out and say, no, actually, he's not, because they were getting a lot of attention.
Right, they want to draw up that attention. We don't know what's going to be. We don't know if it's a collaboration with him. We don't know if it's going to be Silent Hill. Probably not Silent Hill. But it could just be something, indie entirely and just inspired by Kojima. We don't know. Honestly, but there's a big conspiracy about it. Everyone's making theories on Reddit and 4chan, and we don't know, and just in general social media, and we don't really know what's what. So yeah,
it's still so funny to me.
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, people are rallying around something, and it's keeping the masses entertained while the developers work on this stuff.
Yeah. I have one more story before you jump to our new segment. So the store by us. So we have a store called Broken Video Games. It's in Diker Heights. That's not too far from us, and they have a lot of retro. That's pretty much what they do. They have a lot of retro titles, retro related gaming things and games. The staff is very nice. It's a cool store, and they have expanded and opened a second location called Broken Arcade and Games. There you can find them on Instagram, and this store is actually, this new store they open up in our area, and it's 5 minutes away from where we live on 6120 4th Avenue. So
I mean, you straight up just doxed.
It's not our address, it's their address.
I know, but you said we're not far from 60 or whatever.
I'm just letting you guys know where the.
So in case you might want to find,
because it's so brand new that I don't think the address is even on Google. So if you want to look at, the only way you would know is that if you follow Broken Video Games, and you will see their posts of them posting about the second location,
right? Or
you would hear from us.
No, I think that location has their own Instagram.
Yes, it does now.
Yeah,
it's just open. But like, I haven't. If you look up the second location, Broken Arcade and Games, I don't think you can find it on Google yet. I don't think they made a Google page
because it's so new.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were there in the opening, right?
Yeah, we were there for the grand opening. It was very fun.
We played arcade games. I'm not really good at fighting games, and these these guys seem like pros, the people that were actually there, because I think they were there specifically for the matches for the fighting arcade games.
Well,
we were just there to check it out. They had some food there, and also I bought a Xbox controller.
You enter a raffle?
Yeah, I enter a raffle automatically by buying the Xbox controller. I mean, recently I even got an Xbox controller if I go play games on PC using the controller. And I don't know, it automatically enters you to a raffle to get a free PS5. So if we win that raffle, that would save us a lot of money on PS5.
For reals.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Could happen.
Yes, it could.
So that's pretty cool. Like, the place is worth checking out. They have, like, they're starting to have more games now, because, like, when I went there, they barely had any games, but they're starting to have more games now, more trade-ins, more, things like that. Like, a lot of old games, even some, like, contemporary stuff, I think.
And they're getting more cabinets.
Yeah, so they're getting newer games, and you get to pay to play the arcade stuff, so.
Oh, wait! Actually, scratch that. As we were recording this, I just checked their Instagram, and they posted that they're finding it on Google. So you're showing up on Google Search and Maps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So now it's there. Now it's there.
And the hours are there too.
Right.
Awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, so good place for Brooklyn people, or just in New York in general.
Yeah, they're getting more cabinets. They also told us that if we get our own arcade stick, we could bring it and connect it, and because pretty much a lot of these arcade sticks are.
I'm not an arcade guy though. I know you are, but like I've never got into that.
I love arcade.
I'm younger and stuff, and I mostly raised on portable stuff, handhelds.
It's funny because
I did have SNES, so yeah.
It's funny because arcades in general are more of my previous generation. I feel like more the Gen Xers remember the arcades.
But
I got the tail end of it.
Right.
Right when the nostalgia hit for the arcade stuff. So that's where I got into it.
No, I think the reason some millennials play arcade is because the arcade booths, whatever, the machines are still in the same places.
Well, no.
Like, for example, when the glory days, they were everywhere. Yeah. But there's still remnants of it. Like, some places still keep them. If like, there was this place, this laundromat that had an arcade. And that's where my uncle used to play.
It had a cabinet, yeah, I get you.
It had an arcade cabinet, right? It had two arcade cabinets just chilling there. One for Pac-Man and one for Galaga. And my uncle used to play that back in the day. That's why he used to go specifically just for that. It was an extra source of revenue for their laundromat. So it was just a general thing. There were places that were not even arcade places that had arcade machines. So that's just the way things were. And that remnants of that, the ones that were still in place throughout maybe your childhood, that were still not, they didn't remove it altogether, you get to play some of that and experience something new that's not in your comfort zone. Like, like since you said you grew up on SNES, so right, so it makes sense. It makes sense that you would be more into arcade stuff than that, because I'm even younger than you. So
I did start SNES and Game Boy, Game Boy Color. But yeah, it's because of the arcade, the cabinets. I mostly saw them, like you said. Like I sometimes you will find them at random laundromats or
just in anything.
But also there are places that still specifically has them, like Barcade.
Yeah.
So there's a Barcade in the city, in New York City. Well, I don't know if it's still open because the pandemic, but it's in St. Mark's, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's another Barcade in Philly, which I've been to because when my friends played Philly, my Jersey friends came down and we all went to Barcade. It was very fun. And I'm pretty sure I still have those little coins. Oh, by the way, I love how they kept it, like the vibe all the way down to like having the little coins you could put in and just get the game started. It was just like, that's fantastic.
Yep. Yeah, nostalgia works.
And then there's it definitely does. And Dave & Buster's has like
some of that stuff. Not really. It's mostly.
Well, it's not like they don't have like the OG cabinets, but they do have
because when I was there, it felt like more like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Exactly, but not. I mean, Chuck E. Cheese, but
like
there's more stuff.
There's more stuff. Like, for example, like the rewards are more rewarding. It's not like your plastic toys. Like, you get like a legit Pokemon plush or legit video game console. Like, you actually could win a video game console. Like, things like that. Like, more stuff that were. Yeah, instead of Chuck E. Cheese, where you get like some generic toy that they over there, the prices are legit. Like. But the games kind of have that Chuck E. Cheese feel, where it's like generic games.
They're because they're more like if you would have taken the arcade model and modernized it. That's pretty much what it is.
When I was there in Dave & Buster's, it didn't feel like Abe Arcade, where it's arcade cabinets.
No, it's not. It's not that, but it's just letting you know it has a feel of it.
Yeah.
It's saying like it's more like.
Sorry, you go.
So Dave and Buster's is not like the old school arcade places. It's more like a modernized one.
Yeah, it's a modernized Chuck E. Cheese for adults and better rewards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But there are still places around, like randomly, like in Brooklyn, in the city, and like I remember in Chinatown, there's a few spots where they still have the cabinets and you could still play and such. You still have the old school feel.
I mean, there are internet cafes here in the city.
That's true.
Like there are just stuff like that. Like I went to a Chinatown, like the Chinatown not in the city here in around where we are. I think there's an internet cafe.
Yeah,
I walked by one. Didn't go inside, but I know it is there because it said internet cafe, and I was like, wow, okay.
I know. It's
it feels very retro because I've been to one. Not even in this. It was in Ecuador.
Ecuador.
Right, and remember their technology is a little bit behind. So all the retro stuff.
Latin America is just mostly behind.
It's behind, but in a way where it's like, what's old is new over there, right?
True.
So, I used the cafe to, like, I forgot what it was for, but I used it to browse the internet, just like I would at home. And because computers, I think, were for the wealthy over there, so it's like, plebs would use the internet cafe to, print out the resume or check something, research, whatever. Just use to get a chance to use internet. So yeah, that's very normal over there. In countries like that, like Asian countries would had it before. They now they kind of don't need it. Now it's more of a tradition at this point. Like, hey, also good for poor people or people that are tourists. Like they don't have a house or apartment. They're just like at a hotel and they need somewhere to.
Yeah, because a lot of times the hotel internet isn't that
So
good.
yeah, they go to a cafe, fast internet. You pay a certain fee, and then you get to use the computer for whatever you need. So yeah, it's still a thing, and I was there. It's still a thing for whatever reason. It's still a thing, and these things still exist. So
yeah, so my plan is to definitely is to get a arcade stick so I could bring it to Brooklyn Arcades and Games, and
I don't want to get my ass kicked again over there. Like, oh my god, these guys are insane.
I mean, it's just, but you just gotta. I was just a bit rusty. I know that. I'm not gonna be.
I can't play a fighting game without looking at the instructions, not the menu first. Where like, okay, this is the. I can't even.
I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna be that level, but I really do like fighting games. I don't know why. I just always like them.
They're way too
and
ADD. I like action RPGs.
They're too much what?
They're too much going on like ADD.
See, that's ADD, why I like
ADD,
them.
Right? Yeah.
It's because I'm a bit of ADD.
Yeah, like you legit have like ADD. I feel like because you get distracted like easily.
Oh my gosh, it's actually insane.
It really affects us when we're doing everyday things. It's
it really does.
It's not I mean like how kids like to pretend to have like no. I think you have a legit ADD even as an adult. Like
you can. It doesn't go away.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just minimizes a little bit. Because you're a kid, you have more energy, but even as adults could still have it, in the sense that they could get distracted by whatever.
By anything. And also, I don't have the best memory, which is actually another factor. There's actually quite a few factors of having ADHD.
But I feel like as an adult with it, there's some benefits. Like you have a lot of energy, you have a lot of drive, and
yeah, but not everyone that suffers from ADHD. It has high energy. Like there's so
like you're more persistent in the sense that like
it's nothing you could get hype. It's either you could be like it's like you could pretty much like have like no energy, or you could be the opposite of be hyper like hyper focus. It's like
not hyper focus. It feels for example, at your job, you will tell me like you do a million things at once and you just get things done. Dun, dun, dun. When you're in the mood for it, you go dun, dun, you get like bunch of stuff done in a matter of hours, like you would go sonic speed. And there are times where you're like in bed and have not gotten up and
I have nothing.
Yeah. It's very extreme.
It's very extreme.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely on both extremes. And there is definitely a hyper focus element to it. There's actually I looked more into it.
But isn't ADD you have trouble focusing on one thing in the first place? So people with ADD could multitask.
There's actually a few facets to ADHD. There's a facet of like I can't explain everything because I'm not a professional, but it's just based on talking to other people that have it,
and your
going my experiences, but also doing a bit of research. There's the element of, you know, getting easily distracted, have a hard time listening, paying attention, or being the opposite of being hyper focused, or, you know, or also the energy thing. Yeah, there's actually quite a few.
But it's weird. Isn't hyper focus the opposite? Like,
no, the social is because remember, it's like pretty much ADHD is kind of like the autism spectrum.
Right.
So there's a spectrum to it.
Right. There's autism, there's Asperger's, all these things. Actually, autistic people are the most hyper focused people. Like, they focus on one thing, and that becomes almost their entire, like. You know, they're very, yeah. It's almost it's almost like the opposite of like ADD. Yeah, people with ADD or ADHD, they're since they're easily distracted.
No, but you could also be hyper.
Because of that, they could multitask.
Yeah, but you could also be on the other side of and be hyper focused and still have ADHD. There's actually, like I just said, there's a different like levels, a spectrum to it. It's not just that one thing. A lot of people everyone just assume, yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's technically called attention deficiency disorder.
Exactly. The other thing, the reason why I was never diagnosed, apart from I was only been diagnosed with depression and anxiety, which by the way you could also experience with ADHD, especially with everything that goes on with it. Is that it actually manifests differently in boys than it does in girls. That's
true.
So because of that,
same thing of autism, like
exactly the same thing of autism. So that's why this podcast just became actually very personalized.
See, the effect worked. If you're listening to this, this is personalized just for you, listener. Not just us, the hosts, but the listeners. You're personalized. It's just for you.
I have a
Digimon. Remember Digimon? You remember that? We're with you.
I have a degree in psychology. I'm kidding. I don't.
Nah, I took Psych 101 in college, and that's all I know. So I don't know jack shit.
No, I just making it sound like I'm.
I just knew. You know, growing up, I probably knew. I think I did know someone with ADD or something like that.
Well, because I do a lot of research.
And they're very hyper in some areas. Not always, but they have their moments where they're hyper, and they could. It's hard for them to pay attention, but at the same time, they could multitask and get things done. And like, because one kid I knew with ADD, right, and he had a hard time focusing in school, and he actually channeled that energy into, I think, working out and martial arts. He got ripped. He's like, you know, I saw him once. This was late high school, so I was at a 7-Eleven and I saw him. I'm like, yo, because I haven't seen this kid since middle school, and he's ripped and all that. And I told him, hey, what? He said he explained to me a bit of his story because I already knew he had that problem, and it was hard to him from focus and school and stuff. So, he told me like he channeled that into like physical fitness, things like that. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
I get so sad when someone's talking to me and I want to focus on what they're saying, and you know this happens a lot.
Yeah, when we talk, you forget shit. Nah, I kind of just like...
No, it's not just that. When you're like, are you listening to me? It's like, I want to. Like, I swear to you, I want to listen to you. But it's just like my brain is like, no. It's like, but I want to. No. Retain no information. Do not listen. Freaking out. My brain is always spazzing out. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's why I tell you things multiple times.
Exactly. Anyway, apart from me having my ADHD problems, I think we should jump to the last our new segment and wrap up.
So this new segment is this is like the spooky segment. Now this podcast, the reason it's called this podcast personalized, is it's supposed to be based off the Mario 64 creepypasta of that game being personalized. So I wanted to do like a creepypasta / backyard rumors. What was it? Playground rumors, things like that. That was supposed to be the main, but it ended up being video game news and occasionally rumors. But because of this, I want to do like a haunted or creepy gaming segment. And this is our first time doing the segment. So in the beginning of this podcast, you probably heard what I just did. And that comes from GTA 5. In this segment, I want to talk about a Redditor that discovered something strange in GTA 5, the noise you heard in the beginning of the podcast. Scary background noise. Apparently, in GTA 5, if you go very far away from the map, it triggers the submarine, when you're submarine in GTA 5, those ambient noises from that, but you're not in the submarine in the first place, so it feels like you're listening to creepy music if you're like out of bounds. And it was like in the front page, I would say, in the creepy gaming. And so that's the latest creepy thing. Someone discovered something in GTA 5. GTA 5 is such a big game. It's that people still finding new things to this day. People still find new things to this day about the old GTA 4 and San Andreas and all that stuff. GTA 4 especially, like people find weird stuff to this day because these games have a lot to them. There's a lot of work put into them. It's very big worlds. So yeah, that's the latest. So for the next podcast, I'm gonna see if I can find more creepy stuff to do for after the news segment. So that was that. So if you ever in GTA and you decide to do some glitches, you might hear that music if you go out of bounds, I guess. The spooky zone.
Play it again.
Yep. So I guess that's it. Thanks for listening. And any last thing you want to add?
You should play it again.
Okay. Anyways, thanks for listening again, and hope you have a good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.